What's up? What's up? First and foremost, I want to say, tip my hat to the Philadelphia 76ers. You know what, man? Philly, y'all earned it. Y'all deserved the win last night. Tough loss, of course. Game 7, our own house, and we took an L. I'm not going to use the Jason Tatum card because he didn't play. Because honestly, I'm glad they sat him because that could have turned into something worse than we saw last year. You know what I mean? So, he overcompensated what it looks like on the other leg. So yeah, so he had the calf strain or knee issue, whatever it was. You know what I mean? So if he would have pressed the issue, he could have possibly got injured. You know what I'm saying? So props to the medical staff and the coach and the franchise in itself, for having him sit, because I know deep down he really wanted to play. You could see it on his face. So, but as far as Philly, you know what I mean? Look, we ain't had no answer for Embiid when he came back. We don't have a real big. It's frustrating watching, Kada. It was frustrating watching Vucevic out there because he wasn't producing with any points. I think that's my only regret of the season is trading away Simons for him. But just listening to other Celtics fans talk about firing the coach and it's Jaylen Brown's fault. Yo, JP had 33 last night. So where do y'all get off in saying that it was his fault? He had 33, and also second half he was guarding Embiid. How was that, bro? None of our bigs had an answer for him, but Jaylen Brown guarded him, and he did the better job than all of our bigs. He had a block. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dog. But then to say something about the coaches, about Mazzulla saying, he got to go. I feel like, Boston fans very, spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just wow. You know what I'm saying? Like Missoula's done a heck of a job, especially all year. This team was 43-23 without Jason Tatum. There was no fire Missoula chance then. And the Celtics were projected to be like a playing team, which they finished as the number 2 seed. But y'all whining because we lost to Philly. And then, we make the mistakes. We wasn't supposed to be here. Look, I don't play that card either because we was a 2 seed. I was expecting to win the championship this year. No matter we was 2, no matter we was 7, I expected to win. The same way I feel about the Patriots. Like, yeah, like the Patriots got all the way to the Super Bowl. I expected them to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, it's not no old house money like how some fans were saying. And that right there is like a big part of my gripe is the Boston area fans in itself. I don't know how the baseball fans are. I don't know how the hockey fans are because I really don't follow neither sport. I've been watching hockey because it's the playoffs and it's lit. Yeah, I mean, and I catch up on baseball in the postseason too because postseason baseball is lit as well. But for the two sports that I watch, majority of basketball and football every single game, every single week, you know, I am also in different groups with different fans, so I get to see the different perspective. You know what I mean? And I was at Game 6 the other night up in Philly, and I'm gonna tell you this right now: that atmosphere, no matter when I go to a Philadelphia game, that crowd is always lit, whether they're a good team, whether they're a 23-win team. They always lit. And what I notice about Boston fans, these crowds, whether basketball or football, they don't get up and get at it unless it's a big play that happens. I have heard multiple players say, those stadiums ain't as loud as it used to be. Like, it's like a library, man. You get quiet, and then if they hit a 3 or if it's football, you score, you make a big play, that's when they get up and get up. You know what I mean? Like, everybody else, all these other fan bases that I watch, even when I watch the Knicks games, they be lit from the start. That Philly crowd on Thursday was lit from the time they rang the dang on Liberty Bell with the two Flyers players all the way to the parking lot. They was lit before the game. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is my gripe because, as players, they feed off the fans too. So if you're not giving them nothing, then you get mad because they lose and they dropping leads and all that. Y'all get too lackadaisical, man. And as far as the like the Celtics go, hey, look, They had a good season, way more than what I expected. But like I said, if you get there as second seed, I expect you to win. Point blank, period. Like, there's no excuses, not no would have Jason Tatum played, because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm glad they decided to sit him. Like, as a fan, I want to see him out there. But also as a fan, I don't want to see my guy get hurt. So, you know what I mean? So that right there is that. But my gripe with Boston fans in general, just reading a lot of the stuff and seeing like the videos, the post reaction about fire Mazzulla and get rid of Jaylen Brown. Come on, man. Are y'all serious? Like, Boston fans, man, look, I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I'm a New England Patriots fan. But I've always said from day one, I can't stand a lot of these fans in this fan base. Because they get arrogant and they get spoiled and, and they act like they really don't know what's going on. So I saw somebody else post about Tatum was joking with Embiid at the end of the game, but you got no problem like when we win and they do the same thing. This is the modern NBA. This ain't the old days where they genuinely just hate each other and go along their business, bro. That's just the landscape of how it is. You can blame that on AAU and all of that. A lot of these guys grew up playing with each other. You know what I mean? And they also go on the off season and go play with each other. This ain't the old days of the only one that's still operating like it's the old days is Giannis. I remember when he said, "Nah, I don't want to work out with guys like LeBron and them in the off season because, like, yo, they the competition." You very rarely see guys that are like that. A lot of these guys, they team up and they go play with each other in the off season. Same way with football. You'll see quarterbacks throwing with wide receivers from other teams. That's just the way it is. But as far as the Boston Celtics go, I feel like they was up 3-1 and they choked. Like, you play with your food too much the whole series. I also don't like how, people compared the 2024 team when they won the championship saying that was a super team. That's not a super team. Drew Holiday and Al Horford don't make them a super team. You know what the difference is between that team and this team over here? Yeah, they still jacked up a lot of threes, but it was more ball movement. I saw a lack of ball movement, this entire run in the playoffs. It was plays where we see JB take the rock and go one-on-one and everybody just standing around. And it was times when we see Tatum do the same thing. It was very rare that we saw, we try to go one-on-one, then we kick out to the open man. You know what I'm saying? And then we got into situations where we just started jacking threes like it was just nothing. Like, we was down one with like a minute or 2 minutes left in the game. We just jacked like 4 threes in a row. Nobody decided to just try to go to the bucket. The Sixers, we was in the penalty, bro. We could have had the bonus. Go to the hole, go get fouled. Nobody wanted to do that. So at the end of the day, like, Boston deserved to lose. But when I think about the fans is what pisses me off more, because it's like, y'all a bunch of ungrateful mugs, man. And then y'all sit up here and y'all act like, oh, like, fire this person, get rid of this person. Like, that stuff don't work, man. It just don't work. Because if we would have won, y'all would have been tipping y'all hat all happy, and then getting the next round against the Knicks. Might have lost to the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? And then you be back at square one of, oh, you can't do this, can't do that. Bro. Like, at the end of the day, like, I was sitting here last night watching this game, and I seen how like the whole momentum was going, and Philly took that momentum from Game 5 on. So the momentum they had from Boston to take that thing back to Philly, and then to go back to Boston, they had the momentum swing already. But the way they were playing, I was sitting here like, they need to go ahead and lose, because, hey, I didn't want to see Jason Tatum come out there Monday night and possibly get more hurt than what he is. I didn't want to see that. I'm like, so, this team ain't it. Watching them during this series, once they lost that 3-1 lead, and when Embiid came in, we had no answer for him. Cater's garbage. Vucevic wasn't a good fit. Like, bro, come on, man. But I blame these fans in these stadiums, man, because y'all don't get loud no more. I sat there in Game 6 in Philly, and these jokers was loud from the daggone parking lot. That's why I always look at Philly fans. I'm like, yo, you know what? Y'all obnoxious as hell. Y'all say some stuff. But at the end of the day, man, like, yo, like, y'all passionate as hell. Y'all gonna get on your own team. Y'all gonna cheer no matter if y'all a 23-win team in basketball or if it's football and y'all garbage, y'all still gonna cheer no matter what. And y'all gonna show up and show out. Boston fans, we sit in the crowd and we just be chilling, eating popcorn like it's just like we watching the movie. Y'all only get up when it's a big play. Oh, they make a big play in the Patriots game. Or, you know, Celtics, somebody gets a dunk or hit like a three or somebody make a steal. That's the only time y'all get up. Y'all don't randomly just get up like how other fan bases get. Like, it's sickening. Sitting here watching Knicks games and I see the Knicks crowd and they just be hyped. Even last year when we played them, they just be hyped. Boston fans get hyped in the beginning. Let's go, Boston. It's crickets until somebody make a big play. Them dudes was down. I don't think they scored in the first couple minutes of the game last night. This crowd was just dead. They was just watching like, oh, they didn't say nothing until somebody scored. You're supposed to cheer these dudes on because athletes feed off the crowd. Momentum is everything, man. Like I said, man, Boston fans, man, they suck. And I'm a Boston fan. So I'm telling you how it is straight up. That right there is my biggest takeaway from this entire series and just watching Boston in general, because it's been like this for years. Like, I don't care about players being, you know, buddy-buddy with everybody at the end of the game. Okay, and just because you mad, they mad too, but they still, you know what I mean? Like, they cool with them over there. And the one thing Peyton Pritchard said, was it the other night, asked him about the threes, and he said nobody, you know what I mean, everybody, you know, is cool when we make them. I'm probably one of the only few that be like, yo, we shoot too many threes whether we make them or not. I always want them to go to the hole and go get the foul. But a lot of these fans, they don't start complaining until they miss them. Missed a whole lot of shots last night. That game was winnable, but they wasn't hungry. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to close on that. Like, Boston fans got to be better. Philly, look, congratulations. Congratulations to the fans. Y'all earned it. I ain't taking nothing away from y'all. Embiid was a problem. We ain't had no answer for it. Max, it's a hate-love relationship with me and him because I'm like, every time he play us, yo, he always have like a game. And I wish he was a Celtic. That's the only part. But he's a hell of a player. I ain't going to take nothing away from him. Paul George looked like he was still playing in Indiana when Embiid came back. VJ Edgecombe, yo, that rookie good. And he wasn't even playing like a rookie. That's the crazy part. Everybody was down on, you know, Derek White having an off series until last night. He showed up, but nobody else showed up along with him and Jaylen Brown last night. And even when Derek White wasn't showing up, nobody else really stepped up. We had Brown, Tatum, and Pritchard. So look at all of that. And the thing with Kata is he had so many silly fouls, everything, where he's more athletic than Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is a better player, bottom line. But it was plays like when he started to score, you could see it. Like, bro, feed him the ball and just make two moves. Embiid couldn't really move on that leg, man. That dude got like 50 different injuries, and Kata couldn't take advantage of it. Boston overall, they played like they was soft, man. They ain't won it. And Philly wanted it more than them. That's why you lost. Boston Celtics fans, Boston fans in general, between football and basketball, like I said, I ain't speaking on baseball. I ain't speaking on hockey because I don't really watch those sports unless it's the postseason. So I can't form an opinion on neither one of them. But the two sports that I know the most, basketball and football, I can speak on it. The fans is trash. Point blank, period. Me sitting in other stadiums and witnessing other fans and how loud they get, how lit it is, it's crazy. I sat there in Philly on Game 6 and I got jealous. Because I was sitting there like, damn, I wish we was as hype as they are. They won it. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't beat the damn Celtics since 1982. A lot of us wasn't even born then. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted it. We act like we just show up and we win. And that's the same way the players show up. They show up, act like all we gotta do is show up and we win. Philly said, hell nah. You gotta earn it because we won it too. Especially when Embiid came back. That whole identity in Philly changed and we didn't make no adjustments. The only adjustment we made was in last night putting Jaylen Brown on him. And like I said, that was sickening. That you see Jaylen Brown do a better job than every big that we had against Joel Embiid. Sickening. Shout out to JB, man. You had a hell of a season. And you should be getting more credit than what you are now because you played the entire season. You put the season on your back. You played like an MVP all year. All credit due to you. And yeah, when Jason Tatum came back, it was like bet. You know what I mean? Like icing on the cake. But like I said, I didn't want to see him out there, you know, because at the game on Thursday, when they said he got hurt, I didn't know he got hurt until at the end of the game. Like I seen him running on the floor and he dunked and everything. This was during like a commercial timeout. I guess he was just trying to figure out, you know, if he could still go. But Mazzulla ended up sitting all the starters at that point anyway. So I didn't know he was hurt until at the end of the game. I got a text message. Yo, what happened to Tatum? He hurt? Like, I didn't know. But I'm glad they didn't play him. Like I said, it could have been worse. And that's the last thing that we need. So what's next for Boston? You got to retool, man. You got to go find a big and get it together. Like you are one piece away from winning it again. And my message to the fans, you got to go find yourself, man. You got to start getting loud in these buildings, whether it's football or basketball. Stop being a tired-ass franchise of a fan base of fans, man. That's just my take. Yeah, I'm sorry we lost. I'm more pissed at the fans. They bunch of, you know, overly spoiled individuals. And when we sit back and we want to put blame and say, oh, we wasn't supposed to be here, I don't give a damn because if we get there, I expect to win every single time. I don't care about, they say we're supposed to be a playing team. We finished the second seed. We supposed to at least get to the conference finals. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with football. We know what that record was the year before, and everybody bring it up. We were 4-13. I don't give a damn about that. You went on a whole tear the whole season, no matter what the schedule was, I don't care. But if you get there, I expect you to win. It's not no, we play with house money, because guess what? Pat Mahomes, they just said last night, he coming back for OTAs on schedule. So you think that, you know what I mean, like you going to compete with that? Hell nah. Our window last year was that. And that's what it is. You look at all the additions they bringing in. Yeah, they keep talking about A.J. Brown. That ain't going to be enough. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Still a lot of issues on that squad that they got to fix. So, Boston fans, you got to get yourselves together, dog. That's just what it is. I'm checking out.